is Tuesday. What is today? It is the 16th of January. And I'm Jeff Noedel. This is What's Going On Around Here. Hey, what's going on around here? Sorry. It's a little after 11, and we are live. We are live, I believe, both on CNL2.com and Facebook Live. I can't understand what you're saying. Just Facebook. Oh, okay. It's even better, I guess. We're on Facebook Live. People have been telling me for 6 months, we need to be on Facebook Live. And I'm like, no, we don't. But here we are. So I lost that battle, at least for this. Now, this is not an everyday thing. CNL2 Live, CNL2.com will mostly be live. But from time to time, we will also be on Facebook Live. We'll see how that goes. So we have a special guest today. First of all, Heather, hi.
Hello. Good morning,
Here's
everyone.
Our great friend, Heather. This is our 12th episode, and I'm very proud of that. We took a couple weeks off for the holidays, so that means that we've been in production now for over 3 months. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
It's
been fun.
A lot of fun, and there's a lot of potential here. And then we have a special guest today that we're very happy to have. Town of Friday Harbor Mayor Ray Jackson. Thank you.
Morning.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Great to have you. I want to say I'm fairly new. I've been on the island for a little over a year, and I already know something about our mayor. There are 19,500 small towns in America, and there's at least one thing that our mayor does better than any other of the 19,500 mayors, and that is, and you don't know that I know this, but Mayor Jackson covers Earth, Wind, and Fire songs better than any other
Oh
mayor
my goodness!
in the entire United States. I defy, and we have global reach here at CNL2. If anyone in your town, you think that your mayor can cover Earth, Wind, and Fire as good as our mayor at karaoke at the bowling alley, Little Friday Harbor has its own bowling alley, and Wednesday nights karaoke. That was excellent. I can't remember which one it was. I don't know. It wasn't September.
No, it was Reasons.
There we go. Reasons. Excellent. Don't have it on tape, unfortunately, but
I do.
Nice.
You can find it on YouTube. I think you can. Yes, you can find
all
it
right.
on YouTube.
So there we go. So, we have the best mayor for Earth, Wind, and Fire covers. Isn't that great? Did you know that?
I did not know that, but I'm not surprised.
I'm glad
at
to
all.
bring something new to the table that Heather didn't know.
And no one's half the battle, right?
So I would like, I hope you come back for other shows. I would love to talk about your biography, which I think is very impressive, serving in 3 branches of the military. I would love to get into that. But we actually have some important issues to talk about today. And we're going to start with Washington State Ferries. Why don't we just start with your kind of official appraisal of where we are with the ferries?
Well, I mean, it's no secret that we have a big issue that's going on with the ferry system. I think the biggest question that we have to deal with is who's actually involved or in charge. Who's actually making that happen for us? Like, we've tried everything from our level, from local government, area, county. I know you're aware that we've all gotten together and we've written a letter or composed a letter and had it signed, not only just from the council or the town, but also from the county, and as well as our representatives in Washington to send to the governor to explain just how important it is and how essential the ferries are in our day-to-day life. Even more important is the inter-island ferry service. It's something that we need to have. With that being said, we're kind of limited as far as what we can do as far as the outcome is. I mean, from every possible angle that we can approach solving that problem, I think we as a whole community have done that. It's in the powers that be that will ultimately make that decision on whether or not things can be put in place that will help us during the time frame that they're going to do the rebuild. Apparently, I believe it's 2030 is the last word that we received, that we should have a new fleet coming in and possibly a solution to our problem. But looking at that from the outside, looking in, that's roughly 6 years from now.
Right.
And so my approach is not so much dealing with having that time frame and waiting for it to happen, but what do we do in that 6 year span that we can better or now do that can better our community, so when that does happen, we know what's going to happen. Once the ferries start rolling the way they're supposed to, we will have a larger influx of people coming in and visitors that'll be coming here. And so we need to kind of figure out now, while we have a little bit of a respite, of what we can do as far as a community, as a town itself, to be more inviting, to do things that's going to uplift our town, and also prepare us for what we know is coming.
So speaking of visitors, a few weeks ago, Deborah Hoskinson with the Visitor Bureau made a presentation to the town council, and her data showed that we were off to a pretty good start post-COVID this year, or I'm sorry, 2023. We were off to a good start. The numbers looked good for June. The numbers look good for July. I asked her, it kind of almost looked like a record in July. It was very strong. And then suddenly the numbers reversed for August. We're down. Year over year they were down. And then they were also down year over year for September and October. How worried are you? This town is pretty dependent on tourism revenue. How worried are you about what's going on now?
I think the biggest problem that we're dealing with is, like you said, the elephant in the room is the ferry system. People, when it's the only thing that you really can rely on in order to get to this location, it can be a pretty daunting task to not know whether or not the ferries are going to run on time or run at all. You ask why tourism is down. I believe with all my heart it's because we don't have a reliable transportation system to get here. It's kind of disheartening because we generate quite a bit of revenue for the state of Washington. And of all the other places, I think Vashon, I believe, is, and I could be wrong on this, I think is the only one that's kind of similar to our situation, where there is no other way to get to it except via ferry. And so I'm pretty sure that they have the same kind of pains that we have. I would love to see, because of what we saw, the decline of visitors coming in during that time. If you notice that time, in that time frame, we had some serious ferry issues that were going on. After a while, a person just kind of says, it's worth it for me to go out there if I know I'm not going to come back. There's no guarantee that I'll be able to come back. Right. And that uncertainty is just, it's a reality of our situation. And since we don't really have much that we can do, like I said before, to deal with that, then I think we need to just take care of the things that we can do in order to make us better. So when the problem does solve itself, we're able to handle that and be inviting for tourists to come, our visitors to come and visit our town and visit our communities and do the things that need to be done.
Okay. Well, now is the time when I throw you to the lions. Here is Heather.
Well, along those lines of, struggling businesses and because of the drop in tourism,
Of course.
what are some things that you think the town could do to help small businesses while we work this out?
Well, I think that overall, the biggest problem that we're seeing is something that obviously we can't, unless we do something really serious as far as town ordinances, and I don't even know how far we can go as far as that's concerned. We need to reach out and find a way to communicate with the actual landlords that actually are here occupying or owning these buildings. Friday Harbor itself, as far as commerce is concerned and attractability, is only a stretch. I was in Leavenworth at a mayor's conference a couple months ago, and I've never been to Leavenworth before. And so when I went there, I was amazed at how it's just a strip. And there on that strip, it's a main road. They got semis and everything else going through, right? But you make the little turn off and you're in this town. It's like you're in a whole another different area. Now, I'm not saying that we should have Leavenworth here, right? By no stretch of the imagination.
Right.
But it was really interesting to see that type of dynamic, how a town or a community decided to take a concept and collaboratively work together to do it. And this is what you get for it.
Yeah.
The businesses, though, here are struggling because we have a lot of building owners who don't live here.
Right.
And let's face it, it's business. It's a bottom line. It deals with everybody's in the business of making money. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the business owners that have buildings here, in a lot of ways, are insensitive to the needs. Our dynamic is totally different. I tell a lot of people it's kind of like throwing a pebble into a pond, right? You throw a pebble into an ocean, you get these waves, but they're not that impactful. You throw it in a small little puddle, and it's like a tsunami. That's us in the town. Yeah. The things that affect people in the major metropolitan areas, for us, it's major for us. Mm-hmm. Small things matter. So when we do have disruptions like in the ferry service, it causes a ripple effect. When we have businesses that close down because of the high rents that have to be paid on there, when one or two buildings or businesses shut down, it shows. Mm-hmm. When Hearst Tavern burned down, we got this big old giant lot now. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, there's history and everything else that we lost in the process of it, but every day we walk by and we see that place. And I'm asked constantly, hey, what are we going to do with this? What's the town going to do with this plot of land? And the reality of the situation is it's nothing we can do about it. Right. It's a piece of privately owned property, and it's up to the person who owns it to make a decision on what they're going to do with it. And of course, we've reached out and asked, but so far we haven't received anything that will give us an indication of anything that's happening in the future. But we're not going to concentrate our energies on dealing with that particular situation because it's out of our purview. There's nothing that we can do about it. So, if anything, to put the message out to people who are looking at that plot of land and saying, "Oh, they're building all the way around it, but they still got this piece there." That is the reason why.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a little break here for just a second and then return to Heather's questions. We want to share with you a little clip with Kathy Nett, who is actually a neighbor of our studios here in Friday Harbor. And Kathy and Craig Nett are putting on another one of their cabaret shows. I think they had to take a break at some point for COVID, but a lot of energy, a lot of creative energy goes into this. We can hear them rehearsing in the evening. We can hear them rehearsing on the weekends. It sounds good already. They are going to have cabaret shows on the February the 14th on Valentine's Day, then on the 16th, 17th, and 18th. And I'm going to let Kathy explain all this in her own words. So, Jeremy, whenever you're ready.
Cabaret Corner is back. We've taken a little hiatus, but we're back with a Love and Laughter show for February, the 16th, 17th, and 18th, and then a special one on Valentine's night. Well, love and laughter goes along with Valentine's Day, and sometimes it includes anger and breakups and payback, which will be the laughter part, hopefully. But then the love part is just some nostalgic, wonderful music from the 40s and 50s, and it's just going to be a lovely evening of fabulous entertainment. And there'll be wine and chocolate. We have been doing Cabaret Corner for 2 years. This is going on our 3rd year, and we have just had such a joy in presenting this to the community because it's a darling little venue with candlelit tables. And we turn it into this place kind of like a speakeasy where it's dark and quiet and yet wonderfully filled with all of the friends that you want to bring. We have tables for 4, We can even put 5 on a table if you need a whole table, and we've got tables for 2 and a quarter of the tickets. So, and they go fast. So normally we sell out most shows. So it's good to get your place in it. Go to our website, studiojam.com, and you can look up events, and you'll see the website where it has all the details. Tickets are $27, and then for our box seats, which are the cushioned old theater seats of the Palace Theater, and we just have 4 of those, and there's 2 on each side, and those we raised the price to $30 because they were such a hot commodity.
And we're back. There we are. Am I on? Okay. I do not hear myself, but that could be this headset. Sometimes this, there we go. Now I'm on. We're back, thank you. And so that was the cabaret coming up. And as you heard Kathy say, they have been selling out, especially those last few nights. So it seems a little early. People often wait, but it may be wise this time to go ahead and order your tickets now. So returning to Heather with more questions for our guest today, the Honorable Ray Jackson.
Yes. Welcome back, everybody. So my next question is, where does the food truck ordinance stand?
I knew that was coming.
Yep.
Even though I didn't get any of the questions ahead of time, I knew that was going to be coming down the pike. And so,
So you're prepared on this one.
so we're as enthused as the town, as a town. We're enthused about having a food truck here in Friday Harbor. And right now we're in the planning stages, of course, trying to figure out exactly the logistics of it, what it's going to entail as far as the rules and regulations involved in it. I believe it will not have the same type of concept that you'll see in over in I say America, but across the water.
Yes, I say that too.
Yeah. I've had some people say, this is America. Yeah, it is America, but it's not really.
We're on the edge.
We're on the edge.
Literally on the edge.
We're lucky. We're in between 2 countries, at about 45 to an hour away from connecting. And so, but we're, like I said, we're in the planning stages trying to find out exactly what's going to be best suited, like locations, and how we want to put it out. It's going to take a lot of public input, and we're really we're looking forward to hearing more of that. I think we had 1 or maybe 2 of those sessions already with our planning department, where the public actually voiced their opinions, and we brainstormed a little bit on some things that they would want to have and things that we're looking for. It's still in the developmental stages, and the only reason why I say it is because we have other things that are going on now that we have to kind of deal with. So if we keep some kind of order in what we do, we don't have a whole pot of different things cooking at the same time. It's you have to be focused on
That's a food truck pun right there.
I'm glad he caught it. See?
I don't get them all, but I got that one.
My town administrator knows already. I do that to her all the time, and I'll catch her happening, and she'll laugh on it. It's like, but she'll get me the next day. It's pretty it's interesting. So
it's good to know.
So that's something.
So it's coming.
It is coming. It is something that we are aware of, and we are going to be working on as it comes down. I think we will have something in the works this year. Something will come out, basically saying what our next move is going to be, how we're going to move forward on it. So if you have an idea of a food truck, if you have a concept,
Don't give up on it.
Think about what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Think about the concept that you want to lay out, and
I think we should have a poll, a CNL2 poll. Mexican, taco, fish,
So just
what would you go
falafel
to? What would you go to?
truck.
well, considering, and this is one of the things also that needs to be put out. I think is regardless of what we put out for a food truck, there is some things that will not happen. I don't think we cannot put something out that's going to heavily compete with our brick and mortar. Okay,
Right.
that's something that doesn't make any sense. Nobody wins in that. We all know just by common sense that brick and mortars have more overhead, more things they have to be accountable for.
Employ more people.
Employ more people, but just the overall. So it doesn't behoove us to have a redundancy of something that's already there.
So what don't we have here?
We don't have anything.
Okay.
There's a lot.
Well,
yeah.
there's a lot, but I'm saying when I said we don't have a bunch of everything as far as the variety that we could have. Let's put
Right.
it that way. We're a very diverse community with all types of skill sets dealing in food.
Cajun? Does anybody do Cajun?
Hey,
There's one.
Sign me up for that one.
I'm a chef, man. I can cook just about anything.
Cajun
that they throw
food
out
truck. I want a Cajun food truck.
I want a falafel one.
Where are these trucks going to be allowed to park?
Well, see, that's the other thing we're going to have to dig into and
Right,
find
the
out. We need to find a location that's going to work out. I don't think that you'll find them like scattered all over Spring Street and spotted areas. I would like to have, and just it's my personal opinion, not speaking on behalf of the town council at all, but I prefer to have a central location, kind of similar to what we had at the fairgrounds. When they come in during the fair, they have this one big old giant food court. And the people just go over there and they get what they need to have. But in this particular case, I would like it to be a more permanent location. I wouldn't want to have the food trucks come in here and then pick up steaks and then go someplace else. This is where you are. This is where you're going to be. Consider yourself to be kind of like a restaurant, a brick and mortar, not a brick and mortar, but a brick and mortar type.
How do the restaurants feel about this?
I mean, there's mixed reactions to it. Obviously, competition is competition. But what I say to individuals, especially the higher-end restaurants, is the clientele that's going to these places are not your clientele. They were never intended to be your clientele. And if those food trucks have taken away your customers, that says a lot about your business, okay?
Yeah,
because it's a cut above.
Apples and oranges.
Yeah,
it really is.
exactly.
Right.
So it's a specialty thing, and that's why it's important that
Did you catch that one?
I did.
Okay. Let it go.
It's a and that's why it's important that we kind of put that out there too. That there are different tiers, but we do not have many food areas for our working class. Families that can go and actually sit down and have a decent meal and not break the bank in the process of it. And
Right.
You have specialty restaurants here. I don't think they're going to be affected by that, but it'd be nice to have something where our local community can go and have a taste of variety if they want to and not break the bank in the process of doing it. So it serves both ways, and it employs people. And we want to have entrepreneurship here. We're really encouraging that. We want to stress it. People have ideas, they just don't know how to get it going. The first roadblock is, I can't afford to rent inside of a place. Well, food truck is a nice venue to get around that.
Yeah.
So as far as a town, yes, our job is to try to figure out how can we make it so it's win-win, where the town benefits from what we have to offer to you, and also the community benefits from the product that's being presented out to the public. And I think they want variety. I don't think they want 10, 15 taco trucks,
Right. Yeah,
You
they do.
took
They want
you took
variety.
quite a bite with that question. There was a lot to say there.
That was a lot to say.
That was a mouthful.
That was a full menu.
This is one of many things on our plate. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Had to have the last word. Okay.
So one of the things on your plate is the town updating their comp plan. What's happening with that? And
That's still in the works as well, and we are vigorously working on that. Mr. Ryan Erickson is the person that's in charge, basically dealing with that concept, and he's been working hard on changing some of the things like our coding that needs to be done. It's a little antiquated, that needs to be updated, and just working. We're trying to coordinate also with the county to see the certain ways that we can, get the most bang out of our buck with the land that we have. Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, taking into consideration natural resources, i.e., water, and things of that nature, so that we can come up with something that's going to be conducive or more realistic as far as what the future has for at least for the town. So we're working on that as well. It's a time-consuming process. It's a lot of stuff that has to be done on it, and I commend Ryan for all his work. Also want to send a shout out to our town administrator. Boy, I'm telling you, I can't help singing her praises everywhere I go. This woman she makes everything run in that place, and she really is devoted and very passionate to the town. She cares, and I couldn't think of a better person to leave in the trust and hands of the town, operating and functioning. She does a fantastic job.
Great.
So kudos to her.
Yeah.
She definitely was a godsend. I could tell you the story about that, but that's a whole different ball of worms on how that ended up happening. But yes.
Yeah.
So we're working on that in answer to your question.
Perfect. Are there public hearings that will be lined up as it comes down the line?
Yes, and as I mentioned before, Ryan is basically dealing with that aspect of it. But as policy, we always put out notifications prior to those things happening. So I would say if there's anyone who's curious about it or wants to know when that's actually going to happen, you can go on the town website. It'll let you know about public hearings that will be dealing with not just that issue, but any other issue that we have upcoming. There are certain things that we do have that'll be coming up that will require some public input, and we will definitely put the word out, whether it be posted on our board inside of the building or if it be on our website. So you can always go there. You know where to go. Go to townofFridayHarbor.org.
Yep.
And you'll get all the things that you need.
Yeah. Perfect. So my last question is, I'm hearing a lot of stuff about a controversy between the town and the fairgrounds over their water.
Yes.
Can you fill us in a little bit about that?
Well, I'm not going to go into great detail as far as that situation is concerned, because it could be, I would say that we are trying to work with the county in regards to exactly what is required of us, what are we obligated as a town to provide, and what as the county or the fairgrounds they're entitled to have. And there's apparently some gray area in that, but like I mentioned before, my town administrator, Denise, has done her due diligence, and there's some things that need to be addressed, and we are working together between the town and the county to come to some kind of compromise on exactly what it is that we're supposed to be obligated to provide and what it is that they're supposed to receive. But that's something that's in the works, and it's still in the works.
Right.
But I'm optimistic that we'll come to a resolution, and regardless of what that will end up being, I will at least say this. Whatever the outcome is, believe me when I say, the town of Friday Harbor has done everything in their power to try to alleviate that situation. Okay? So if shock and awe comes,
Kaboom!
kaboom, okay?
Okay. Well, you got my attention.
I got a feeling it might end up being another episode.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
My hope
Okay.
is that it is not, but I want the audience to be ready for that. If that happens, understand it is not something that was done lightly. If it should go a different direction, I'm not saying that.
Right.
But if it is, that it's not an animosity thing, okay? It's business. It's never personal, and there's rules, and we have to follow rules. And if we don't do that, then what do we have them there for? You know?
So in the meantime, you can count on the drip, drip, drip of Heather Spaulding asking what's going on around here.
That's right.
So that'll be going. So
Excellent.
thank you, Heather. Good
Yeah,
question.
thank
So
you.
when the mayor arrived this morning, we didn't know this, but we're happy to provide the platform for the mayor to make an announcement right now.
So, as most people know here, I've been the mayor for the past 2 years, and I really appreciate it. I enjoy being the mayor. I think that having the ability to reach out to the public and talking to individuals out and about town, and not just in the town proper, but in the county as well, and listening to their problems and hopefully trying to find solutions, have always been something that I thought that was greatly needed. I think being out there and talking with folks, you get an idea or general sense of exactly the direction that, in my particular case, the town was going. But there comes a time where, especially for me, I've just turned 58, And, I've given it a lot of thought. And being the mayor, although it's great, it's kind of limiting on the things that you can do to impact not only just the town, but the island community in general. And the election for the county seat is up for grabs this year. And although I have till 2025 for my term to be mayor, at this time I feel that it's now the time for me to move a little bit further up to make more of a difference and a change. And because of that, today I'm going to formally announce that I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and go for the county council seat here in San Juan Island. I've talked to a number of people and have conveyed my ideas, and I've heard theirs. The reaction that I received has been positive. I haven't really received anything negative about it. Most of the people know me. I'm the same person that probably came to their house and hooked up their television service. And we've had conversations more intimately than, probably most people who come in and do those type of services. But I don't mind that. I think it was a great thing for me. I think having the ability to reach out and actually have that occupation that allows me to have that kind of relationship with my client base has helped me get to this point here, where I can say with confidence that I think that I can support and also represent the vast majority of the individuals that live here in our island community. I think I could be more effective as far as getting the word across and getting their input utilized, or not so much utilized, but their input used to better the community and get more involvement from the community. I think that's a big issue we have right now. There's this big disconnect between the community and government, and we're too small for that. Our community is our government. I mean, we work for you. We should be there and available when you need us. And I think the general public has this feeling that that's not happening. And so I've never had a problem with communicating with folks. I've never had a problem with talking to individuals. Walk down the street, get stopped in the supermarket, everywhere. They ask questions. I never shy away from them. If I have the answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't, I'll direct you, hopefully, to a place where you can. But from a local, small town level, that's one thing. But from a county level, that same concept can be implemented, and I feel that I'm confident enough to do that. And so now in 2024, I think it's the time for me to, like I said before, to announce my candidacy for the county council seat in San Juan.
All right. So you heard it here first on CNL2. We're only 10 months old, and we've only been on the air for 3 months, and we're making news. What about that?
Right.
So yesterday, the political season on the national level started with the Iowa caucuses, and the next day, the political season starts here on San Juan Island. So congratulations on your decision.
Thank you.
You are welcome back here, as are any of your opponents are welcome to address our audience. Now would be a good time to say that CNL2 does have the capacity to take calls over the telephone. You seem like you're receptive to that.
Very much so.
So in a future show, we may actually take phone calls, and I would love that. I think you would love that. It would be great to have that kind of interaction on live television. So thank you again for your appearance today, and thank you for all the work that you're continually doing for the town and the island and the county and all the people here. So good appearance. If you want to stay, you can stay and watch us talk about little animals. And,
hey,
so,
all animals count on the island.
That's
That's
right.
right.
They don't vote, but they might as well.
I don't know. In some cases, you think that maybe
I
not.
think so.
I've seen a couple paw prints on some ballots.
How should I vote?
Put your paw on the line. There it is. No,
Let
thank
me
you.
get your paw print. I
So
don't
speaking of pets,
Pet of the
Heather,
week.
this has turned into Heather's
I
Heather's
love
perk
it. I
here.
love it that our animal Protection Society does this. So the pet of the week this week is Ozzy. He's a little tabby, and when I say little, I mean he really is little. He's one of those cats that has short legs. And so he's 4 years old, I believe. Anyway, he was a stray for most of those 4 years, and they found him because he decided he really wanted to be with people and wanted a home. He was like really just coming up to people, it sounds like, from the article. So that is Ozzy. He is a fan of Black Sabbath. He
Oh, wow.
likes Black Sabbath. And he
How did they know
loves
that?
you know, with a name like Ozzy, somehow I would
Oh,
be
okay.
surprised.
Well, all right.
I kind of put that together too.
I missed that one.
And being a stray, he's street smart, but very optimistic. So there you go. You can contact the Animal Protection Society if you want to provide him with a forever home.
So Jeremy put Ozzy back up there.
Yeah.
So here's little Ozzy. Look at that. Look at that. So Ozzy, you know, you can't have too many cats. You can't.
Nope.
There's a line where you like become a cat lady or a
But that's
cat-
nothing to be
cat
ashamed
man.
of. You know,
But
people say that like
that's
it's a
not a
bad
bad
thing.
thing.
It's not
Right.
a bad
I
thing.
agree. That's not a bad
Most
thing.
cats I found have been very they're very independent. And so, you know, low maintenance kitties.
Be careful now. I mean, you don't want to get the cat people on the wrong side here. You're about to go
No,
up.
but it's true. That's one
go
of
on
the
the
things
ballot
that
here.
I absolutely love about cats is
Yeah.
their difference than dogs is that, you know, you can go to work without them going.
And come back and the whole place looks like a tornado because,
Exactly.
you know,
No, they're
never hear me people say, "Oh, I got to go feed the cat." It's like, well, you know, the cat's pretty much self-sufficient.
right.
You know, the cat feeds you.
So think about, you know, if you look at Ozzy and you feel called, as best we understand, we're still what's that? Okay, we're good. So anyway, go adopt
Okay.
Ozzy.
yeah, or one
Okay.
of the oh, excuse me, it's one of the other pets they have at the shelter. They've got
Okay.
lots, cats and dogs. If you're more of a dog fan, they'll have that too.
Okay. And thanks to Jeremy Tyler today for keeping this rickety plane aloft. Just ran across the room to do something. I don't know what, but this is small town. This is television, but this is small town television. So
Do I have a little bit of time to say to
yeah,
this production here that's going on? This is really great. Having this type of setup here that will allow the public to have a voice in what's going on around. I mean, being in a small town, word of mouth travels really, really far here, and it's impactful. Constantly, I'm hearing people don't have a platform to do or say anything. We now have one now. CNL2 is a perfect venue to bring your concerns that you have, good, bad, or ugly, into a forum where people can actually interact and
absolutely.
engage in. And I appreciate you taking the initiative. And we've talked about what you're planning on doing in the future, and I'm looking forward to working with you,
Thank
whether
you.
it be in the
That'd be
town level or in the county level, to promote that.
It's very important for everyone to understand that this is it's commercial television because we're going to have commercials. I love ads. I'm not like you. I love ads. I love advertising because it's a chance for every business to explain what it does, and so it's commercial television, but it's also community television, and kind of in the line of cable, local origination, small community, and in that sense, you know, there's 24 hours in a day. I don't think we'll ever be on the air with the television through the night. I think that'll be CNL2 radio, and I would like to see this 24 hours a day, whether it's radio or TV, but for 12 or 14 or 16 hours a day, we could do television.
Yes.
And a significant portion of that could be the nonprofits, the schools, the institutions explaining themselves, asking for help. I think a few times a year maybe the community foundation should do a telethon.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, we're throwing the doors open here. Actually, we're not, they're locked. The doors are locked, and they're going to stay locked. But if you knock on the door, we'll open the door, and you can come in. You can use this facility that we've built. My next on my to-do list is to, with proper support from Orcas, build a sister studio in Orcas, bring these two islands together in real-time live programming, and then Lopez. And we will have the ability to involve anyone from all of the islands through phone or even Zoom, split screen, live. You know, you've been part of that. We had Senator Lovelet right there on the same screen talking in real time, all going out live. It
That's great.
Really amazing. But this is, I guess, our gift to the community, and we hope the community uses it. There's no political bent to this whatsoever.
Right.
I'm an independent, and there's no agenda. There's no political agenda. If people want to get together on this stage and debate Israel and Palestine, fine, as long as it has credibility and as long as it's civil. That's all I ask, is that things stay civil.
Yeah.
So thank you for your kind words. Thank you for any support. We really encourage people to just get the word out, because we're here. We're ready, such as it is. You
Well,
know,
I'm looking at it. I'm
such
looking
as
at it
is.
now, and it looks like they're ready.
Yeah, we're ready. So bring it on. Bring your fundraisers. Bring your shows that need to sell tickets. Bring your political causes. We're just going to look for balance, and we're going to, in our own shows, the shows that we produce, we are, one of the shows that we're going to do is called Very, Very Important, and we are going to be, already have started to examine the ferry situation very close and ask the hardest questions of state legislators. Reminds me, I need to check and see what our state senators have been doing. Our friends. We had a really good interview also with both Senator Lovelet and Senator Ron Mazzal, a Republican from Whidbey, and so we're off to a good start. And you have elevated this too. So thank you so much for being here.
You know, and like I said, I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm so enthused at this coming to fruition. And you're right, it's going to take, in order for it to work, it's going to take the community to get involved in it.
In your beloved Masonic Hall Lodge building.
Well, yeah,
Right.
you can't miss it. It's
No.
a big blue building on the corner.
That's right.
Right next to the courthouse.
Okay, and
Prime location.
Jeremy, we're getting ready to go to David Messmer, is kind of become a friend of mine. David has a Hammond B2 organ and a Hammond B3 organ in his facility where he's been selling pianos and organs and giving music lessons. Mayor, you know music. You know the Hammond B3. It's a piece of history. It's got an amazing sound. I'm a Hammond B3 freak. It goes back to the 40s and 50s, and it just has such a unique sound. I've been talking to David about maybe we might acquire one of those organs in this studio.
Is that Hammond? Is that the one that you hear in the Doors? The Doors music? I thought so. Okay.
Really, anything, any
Kind of hips accordion.
any music in the 60s and 70s where they're really keying into organ music is probably a Hammond.
Okay.
A Hammond organ.
A little bit of the Animals and, you know, House of the Rise of Sun.
Yep.
Anything with
There's
nice.
it just sounds like no other organ, and I believe it's the first electronic organ, or one of the first.
I think it was.
But the other thing about it is that they would create a vibrato sound to it because they had this set of horns. There were two ways to do it. They either had a set of horns, and the horns, the speakers, would rotate real fast, and they can actually control the speed of that. So that created a vibrato sound. And then other times they had paddles that would create, would go in front of the speaker. So I'm off the deep end on this stuff, but I would be very excited to have a Hammond organ in these studios, which hints at how much musical stuff I'd like to see on CNL2. I hope that this is a place for music. I hope it's a place to discuss arts. I'm a weak oil painter myself, but I understand the mind of the artist, and this is a tremendously, so as I understand it, the year I've been here, I've learned it's about arts, it's about animals, it's about nonprofits. What am I forgetting? I think that covers those.
It's about community.
Yeah, these are the passions of this community.
It's all about community.
And so it's very important for all of you to understand, if you have a band and you want to play, come on down.
Do a set.
We will do a set. If you want to cover an Earth, Wind, and Fire song, just come on down. We'll get the karaoke fired up. But anyway, so we were over at David Messmer's place the other day, and he played a song for us, and we're going to go out on that song.
Here's one you should all recognize, written by Benny Green, Body and Soul.